Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. I have a different camera up today. It's the opposite side what we normally look at. It looks like the Windjammer's hotel cam is down. So we're looking at the other side of the pier. And God, it's a lovely day out there. I'm almost tempted not even to go into work and just grab my surfboard, but that would be irresponsible of me. And I will be in work because I was off yesterday. Beautiful day out there, though. And if you take a look down this, the camera's not working here, it looks like. But if you walk straight down this street and you follow this little hand, see the hand here? You walk straight down here, and I'm right over here, only like 2 or 3 blocks away from the ocean here. Boy, look at those waves, too, coming in. Well, we're not here to talk about waves, weather, or Lauderdale by the Sea, so let's move on to what I do want to talk about. Buy, hold, or sell. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and the suggestions that I give you here are really suggestions of things that I follow myself. I'm just telling you what I do, or what maybe I would tell a friend or a family member to do. I'm absolutely not telling you that you need to buy, sell, or hold or anything. In fact, if you listen to my videos for the last year, you'll notice that I don't really like to tell anybody what to do. What I've been trying to do here is teach you to think for yourself, not have me tell you what to do, or me thinking for you or someone else. I have been doing these shows to teach you how to fish, not give you a fish. So it's really important for me that you learn this stuff on your own. And of course, it's simpler if I tell you what I'm doing and my thoughts on it. But again, I encourage you to come up with your own thoughts. Think for yourself. Don't necessarily listen to what I say or anybody else says. Use your own brain. That's what you were given it. You were given a brain to use it. So please do use it. Hold, buy, or sell. Well, of course, in precious metals right now, I would say we can completely remove that red button. If I could, I'd remove that red button from everyone. But again, I'm talking about myself. Don't even think about selling unless you have to raise money. You know, when it comes to precious metals right now, you should be in the buy or hold mode. And again, that's my opinion, and that's what I'm doing right now, buying and holding. When you get the opportunity, if you still got money, buy the frickin' dips. Let's take a look at why I say that, and it has something to do with treasury yields, what we're looking at right here. It really, not so much treasury yields, but treasury yields are part of the whole economy, the whole global and world economy too. I mean, the United States, when when something happens here, I mean, it reverberates across the entire planet. So. We are kind of movers and shakers. We're still leaders in the global arena of economics. And this, if you simply think about gold and silver and precious metals for what it is, it's basically a hedge against a fiat currency, it's a hedge against a falling dollar. It is real money. It's been around for real money as 5,000 years, despite what the media, despite what other people are trying to tell you. No, it's not gold, it's archaic. No, folks. It's got a 5,000-year track record as being money or being like money. It's outlived all different forms of money. It's outlived all different forms of government. It's outlived all corporations. It's outlived all men. It's been around for 5,000 years. You know what you call that? You call that a track record, folks. That's a great track record. No investment, no currency, no dollar, no nothing has a track record like gold, silver, and platinum does. So why am I so kind of bullish and a buy and hold kind of guy? Well, all you got to do is look at this, and I love the charts here, macro trends, 10-year treasury rate, 54-year historical chart. And again, I've gone over this 12,000 times with you guys before, but I'm going to kind of focus on the end over here. But meanwhile, if you take a look, here's where where the world was starting to get upset with us because we were spending so much in Vietnam. We were spending huge amounts of money here. We were violating the Bretton Woods Agreement between this period right here. Let's say 1963 is when it started, and the apex was in 1970s. Here's where Nixon took us off the gold standard. Look at interest rates here. Then look what happens to interest rates, and here's about the same time that gold and silver markets had their first made. We had many bull runs in between here. Here's one bull run for gold and silver. Oddly enough, interest rates are up too. Make sense of that, if you will. They try to tell you that if the 10-year treasury rates numbers are up, then gold and silver will be down. But all three of these points are bull markets in precious metals. And the biggest bull market of them all, even to this day, even though we've surpassed that $800 per ounce mark that we hit in 1980, again, look at interest rates here. Look at treasuries. Treasuries are at an all-time high right here. Just absolutely insane. And now you have investment people and banks telling you, well, if treasury yields go up, that means gold and silver goes to shit. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit. I don't know who came up with that, but it sure sounds convenient to keep the prices of gold and silver down by telling investors, oh, if treasuries go up. It sounds like some government official made that crap up. But take a look at this. Interest rates were just flying, soaring. Again, this is after, this is during the time when Nixon took us off the gold standard. Look, they're soaring here again during one of the greatest bull markets of all time with $800 gold. And if you looked at inflation, you took out inflation out of the whole deal. $800 in 1980 for gold and $50 silver in 1980 would equate to what, 10 times that amount? Silver would have to be $500 to meet that bull market. Gold would have to be what, $8,000 to meet that bull market. That was the greatest bull market in precious metals of all time. However, I think if we took this chart right here, this Fed chart, and we put a head and shoulders on it, I think we're into the, that's a shoulder right there. Here's where we came off the gold standard. We became a fiat currency. There's your first shoulder. I think we're, well, there's a shoulder, and I think we're building for a big head right here. And you see, anyway, I don't know much about head and shoulder patterns and stuff. I'm kind of learning a little bit about charts here, but God, that's sure what it looks like to me. And again, look, they tell us now in Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg and all these supposedly experts tell us that rising interest rates kill the price of gold. Well, obviously it didn't happen in the biggest bull markets we ever had in the past. Let's take a look at interest rates here. I'm going to tighten this mark up here too and show you why I am a buyer and a holder. Okay, let's take a look at, well, here, I'm going to move back a little bit. Let's go back to 2000. I'm going to go back to 2005. Well, hold on. I'm going to look at the whole chart here. Again, 1980s. Here is 2008. See the big recession right here? Here's 2008 when gold and silver prices started to rocket too. And you'll see that interest rates are going down. I don't know where they got this idea that treasury rates, rising treasury yields are going to knock the price of gold down. I mean, to me, if you just take a look at the chart, it's full of shit. There's no historic precedent there whatsoever. Oh yeah, well, yields, 1.6 yield, a 2% yield, 2.5% yield. People are going to sell all their investments and run into that. Nonsense. The CPI sucks. Even if yields were going up to 2 to 3% on treasuries, maybe take a look at the yields here. 14.9%, and gold was 8. We had the greatest bull market of all time then. Look at yields here. 7.38%. You had a good bull market there. Look at yields here. Well, here's the problem, and here's probably why they're telling you that true and treasuries go up, gold goes down, because the problem is that treasuries have done nothing but go down since 1980 and 81 during that big giant peak that we had right here. And I suspect what we're going to see is we're going to see both rates, treasury rates, and the precious metals. And I think you're going to see the reason rates are going to go up is we're going to see major inflation get completely out of control. I think we're going to have a big problem with that, and they're going to be forced to raise rates. But I don't know what they do then with as far as sovereign debt. What does the United States do with the debt if the Treasury has to raise rates? Well, maybe the Fed says, well, you know what? We'll forgive a national debt to the United States. We'll forgive your national debt. We'll start you at zero. Maybe that's what the reset is. Not you and I getting free money, but the United States debt just being wiped out completely by the Fed. Maybe that what is the real reset. The bailout for the federal government, not the bailout for the people. So, and that just will encourage these idiots to make more mistakes in Washington, D.C. Trust me on that. But no less, let's move along here. And let me tighten up this chart a little bit here. And here's what I want to mention. Look, from 2008, I mean, it's a downhill. It's nothing but downhill on treasury yields. Nobody wants to own this. Why? Because here's when we were backed by gold. We were backed by gold right here. Here's when we were no longer backed by gold. And look what happened. Again, inflation reared its ugly head. Treasuries were off the hook, and gold and silver and precious metals were off the hook. Oil was off the hook even. Commodities, basically commodities. All commodities were just going crazy. Inflation was nuts. We're going to see that again, folks. And here's the problem with that, is at least at that time, if you didn't want to own gold and silver, you could own these treasuries. But the problem is now, is they keep printing more and more. And let's see what happens as you print more and more. Well, the treasury yields get less and less. There's more money out there. The money's cheaper than it ever has been. It doesn't buy what it used to buy. Again, it's a fiat currency. No fiat currency has ever survived longer than the U.S. dollar. We are the experiment right now. But I want you to take a look at these rates. And the Fed, is between a rock and a hard place. They really can't do much from here. So we got a low of 0.66% here at the beginning of last year. You know, before this sickness came along, and I'm going to try to use keywords here. The economy was in major, major, major trouble before 2020. And all 2020 did was just turn everything off for a little while. Now, things are going to get turned back on, and it's going to appear that things are better, but things are even worse, folks. You know, be prepared for this. I think we're in for a major commodities boom, major inflation coming up, and I don't know what's going to happen to the interest rate, and I don't think it really matters, at least to gold and silver owners at this point. All you got to do is take a look at this time frame right here and realize it doesn't matter, and take a look at other periods of time here on this chart. And again, look at this chart. It's just onward, downward, downward, downward. Where are we today? This is where we are today. This is 2020, folks. This is why you see this big dip. But all we're going to do is continue this downward trend. This dip is a great example of that. All of a sudden, you hit this terrible time right here, and then you start to go up. People, the news media, the talking heads on TV, the financial people are going to say, look, we're in recovery mode. No, we're not. We're in a mode we're going to just kind of keep going downward, downward, downward. The only reason it looks like we're in a recovery mode is because last year was such a shit, horrible year that they created. So, you know, a lot of shenanigans going on here. Again, that's just my opinion. And this is a great reason why you want to own commodities. Again, my expertise is gold, silver, and platinum, but I have a feeling that you're going to just see a commodities boom that's going to replace the Dow boom, or the NASDAQ and the S&P that we've seen. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're in the era of a commodities boom, and that is not really good as far as inflation goes. A commodity, and I think that's the last thing that the Fed wants to see, is a commodities boom. And this is why I think that they've been keeping the price of gold and silver down. I really believe governments have been doing this purposely with the help of major financial institutions, that they've been keeping the price of commodities down purposely because they don't want to see major inflation. And the Fed can do it by endlessly printing money. And what they do is by endlessly printing money, they allow these financial institutions to create these commodities that you see right here as paper products, which means that there's more paper than exists corn. There's more paper than exists copper. There's more, and we know for a fact we are the leaders in paper as far as gold and silver goes, which is the biggest scam out there. ETFs, London COMEX, London and COMEX, SLV, GLD, in my opinion, the biggest frickin' scams out there. But I guarantee it probably happens in these markets as well. So I think what we're seeing is that we're seeing the Fed and financial institutions trying to keep the lid on the commodities market. Until the financial institutions stop playing with the Fed and the Fed stops paying them off somehow. And then the financial institutions will go up in there and they will just hammer the commodities market. That's my opinion here. Let's take a look at Zero Hedge here. You can read Zero Hedge for free. One of the beauties of it is they don't charge you a thing to read this, so you can read the same thing I'm reading. And I suggest you get ZH if you're new to this show, because they provide different opinions, different viewpoints, and different narratives. So you're not stuck with a single viewpoint or a single narrative. And no, I do not get paid for them to say this. And yes, I do have the $1-a-day subscription. So if you notice my page is different, that's because I pay $1 not to have all those annoying freaking ads they have. So. Gold fix, central bank, Bitcoin bashing begins. Well, listen, I've been saying that for a long time, that there's one thing that governments and banks hate. They hate competition. Bitcoin is a competition to them. They will certainly either make it illegal like they have in India and China, and or they will more than likely in the United States, since Bitcoin's got its foot in the door already, they're going to highly regulate it. It'll just become some kind of fancified money market fund eventually, in my opinion. All hell breaks loose in Turkey. Stocks halted. Well, there you go. Turkish people are sure glad they own gold. If they compare the lira, the Turkish lira, compared to what it brings in gold right now, man, they got to be happy they're sitting on gold, not Turkish lira, because if they were sitting on Turkish lira, they'd all be poor. And this is why we own gold and silver, because something similar is going to happen to the dollar. Maybe not in the same time frame, but we are going to get hit just as well. And we have been since 1970, since we've been a fiat currency. The buying power of the dollar has just slowly eroded to where it is today. Don't want to talk about that. You can read that yourself. Germany orders most restrictive lockdown yet. Well, you know what? At some point, the German citizens are going to go out there and start getting pissed about this. And one thing we know is you don't want to piss off Germans. It's just, okay, that was kind of a joke, but it's true. You don't want to piss off any sovereign nations' peoples, because once you push them over the edge, you risk having them tar and feather you and drag you right out of the Capitol building, wherever you are. Future slide, dollar surges ahead of Powell, Yellen doubleheader on fresh fears. Of course, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Lots of BS. Look at this. Cali couple who paid $560,000 for a house can't get a six squatter to leave. Oh gosh. Anyways, here, commodities going to get ugly. Global plastic shortage triggered by Texas deep freeze. Well, yeah, maybe that's not a good example. That's something that would happen because of the freeze and the plastics. But you know, plastic gets more expensive. That's also going to feed into a rising cost of goods, plastics and everything. Climate won't be changed. Not too much in gold and silver and precious metals news here. 15th century Medici Bank is getting into 21st century relaunch and also will serve crypto firms. The Medicis are getting into crypto. I think that's like the seventh sign that the world is going to end for cryptos, probably. Just joking. I have no clue. Really, again, not too much here as far as gold and silver goes, but I do highly recommend that you read this. ZH every day, and they do some good gold, silver, and they do crypto articles too if you're into that. Bank of England formally refuses gold leasing questions. Well, you know how I talked to you about governments are involved in suppressing the price of gold and silver. I really believe this to be true, and it's not a conspiracy. You know, I was told at one time that I was a conspiracist for saying that these financial institutions were spoofing gold and keeping the price of gold down. So many people, oh man. Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg's, all the major writers, CNBC, all these people saying, oh, you're nuts, you're crazy, you're conspiracist. That's not happening. And then what happens? JP gets fined $1 billion almost for spoofing, but they made $40 billion, so it didn't matter. And then they got fined heavily, like I said, well, almost $1 billion. And then all of a sudden, I was correct, and all of us folks that were out there saying that, yes, these markets are heavily manipulated, gold and silver, and probably all the other markets too as well. But we, you know, since we're in this market, we recognize it, and we were told we were conspiracists. We were proven correct. We are not conspiracists. And you know what the next supposed conspiracy that we're going to be proven right is that governments purposely keep the price of gold and silver down in order for their currencies not to look awful. Well, anyways, Bank of England formally refuses gold leasing questions. I'm not surprised by this. More or less, somebody wrote I forget who it is, I think it's Goddard or one of their people, wealth management. Let me take a look at here. Where is it? Here's the two questions they asked. Have the Bank of England and Treasuries exchanged equalization account or any agency answering to the Bank of Treasury leased gold in the last 12 months? Well, if you're from, I can't explain this to you because it's long-winded, but go and look at gold leasing in London. Type in London gold leasing or Bank of England gold leasing, BOE gold leasing when you get a chance after this video here, and read about it. It's a very interesting story. The Bank of England was leasing gold out, and the gold was flooding the market out there, keeping the price of gold down. And this is a form of price suppression for sure. And the United States, the government was doing it. Our government was doing it as well. Has any leased gold been returned to the bank, the Treasury, or an agent answering to them in the last 12 months? Basically, BOE, Bank of England, has refused to answer these questions because we know what the answer is. We are not conspiracists. That governments have leased out gold purposely to sell it into the market to drive the prices down so they don't have to worry about major inflations and people fleeing their currencies into gold and silver. Definitely prices are suppressed here, folks. The game is rigged. But of course the game is rigged, and if you don't play, you can't win. And if you know how it's rigged, you can win, and we know how it's rigged. Let me move along to spot prices, and I'm going to answer some questions from yesterday's video, comments in here, and we'll do that, and we'll end the show real quick. Not much happening with precious metals as we're above the 1700 mark. Again, my opinion, if you can buy now. You can buy at 1800. You can buy at 1850. Just buy when you get a chance. And if you're one of those guys that likes to buy the dips and you kind of get excited about being able to time markets like that, then buy the frickin' dips when you can, both gold, silver, and platinum. I think anything below 2000 and really depending on the time frame. 5 years from now, I'll probably say anything below 2,500 was cheap on gold. I think anything below $30 is cheap on silver. I think anything below 1,300 is cheap on platinum. So buy all three of those metals, and if you can buy the dips, great. If you can't, do not sell into it if you see these markets get monkey hammered, because again, they are purposely monkey hammered by governments and institutions to put money in their pocket, not ours. And they do that to get you out of these markets. So relax, take a break, take a breather. We're fine. Just keep buying the dips here, and just keep buying anyway if you can. Again, I think commodities is a great place to be, especially gold and silver, and that's my opinion. I'm going to answer some questions. I got in late, did the show real late last night. Surprised it got the views it did, but thank you very much. Again, if you get a chance to like the videos and also subscribe, I appreciate that as well. I'm going to answer a few of the questions here. Gary Hunt says, still not received any so-called stimulus. I support Republicans, especially Donald Trump. I don't know when the stimulus is supposed to come out here, and what I suggest, Gary, I'm not going to suggest anything. You buy whatever you want, but if you're buying gold or silver, I like seeing that. Make sure you buy physical. Do not buy paper bullshit ever, ETFs, SLB. If you do buy a COMEX contract or something like that, make sure you demand delivery. And actually, I'd like to see people starting to demand delivery in COMEX. If you're playing in that market, if you're playing in the paper markets with gold and silver, but get a contract, get a COMEX contract, and ask for delivery on it. That's what I would suggest. Put the pressure on these people. Do not buy ETFs. I hate ETFs. Again, my opinion. Wouldn't suggest them. Don't think you should buy them. It's fake. It's fake metal. It's not real. It's just a piece of paper. Why would you own something that's fake? I don't get it. John, I'm scared the modern people could not live like we did when I was younger. Yeah, John, we didn't have to wear bicycle helmets either when we were young, so that explains a lot of things for us. Adam Moore, you better have gold and silver and real estate and cryptos. Well, I don't know about crypto, sir, but if you know that game and you know how that game is rigged, why not play it? King Tolba, man, King, I love that fact that you're watching, but many analysts told gold, silver will be 100 and gold will be 200, and that's not really. It's not really. It's only from the media. Silver and gold, very weak. Stop whining, sir. And I mean this in like a friendly way, like you're a friend of mine. If you've been watching my show, who gives a shit that it's not $100 right now? Who gives a shit that it's not $2,100 for gold? Relax. Have you been watching my shows, King? If you've been watching my shows, you'll know that you don't need to get upset. You don't need to write these comments because everything is cool. You're going to be fine. Unless you got some illness or sickness or something and you're not going to be around next year or the next couple of years, I feel for you. I really do. And maybe metals is not the best place for you to be right now, possibly. But no less, if you're healthy and you plan on being around for a few more years, just frickin' relax, dude. Everything is going to be all right. Beto D just got some gold and silver today at my door, more silver tomorrow. And if I should get more gold, I just have 2 gold coins and a lot of silver. What should I get? More silver, gold to add to my mini gold stack? Beto, I cannot give you, I cannot tell you or make suggestions on what I think you should buy. Again, this is the reason that I've been doing these shows is so I can give you all the information to see what I'm seeing and how I'm making my decisions. And I think that personally, silver has a greater upside potential. Silver still has not met its all-time high of $50. It's been there twice, once in 1980, which would be equivalent to $500 now. But I'm not going to, I'm not going to do any adjustment for inflation here. Let's just say $50 is the all-time high. We still haven't reached the all-time high of $50 in silver. So that tells me that we're at $25 right now. We still have a good double up. Gold has already hit its all-time high a few times. In fact, we're below that right now. So I think as long as gold moves up, silver is going to move up. Both of those metals are going to move up in tandem. And I believe your upside is going to be greater with silver. However, I think silver is monkey hammered and manipulated the most. I think silver is, you got to have a strong stomach because it does make those big crazy swings. But no less, if you're cool with that and you can deal with that, I think that silver is probably the better double up in my opinion. However, can't hurt to be diversified. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. So really, I didn't answer your question at all. I think it's up to you, sir. Gary Hunt, Perth Mint, is telling paper customers may be delayed getting delivery. Physical metals are the key. Every American showed in 10 ounces in case of emergencies with paper currency. Cheers. Can't argue with that, Gary. I think we're going to start seeing big defaults in precious metals, especially with COMEX, London, and hopefully the evil SLB and GLD, those evil counterfeiters. Again, it's my opinion. They're counterfeiters. They make counterfeit gold and silver. Why would you own an ETF? It's fucking ridiculous. Again, my opinion. Sorry about the F word. Gary Hunt, I found some silver mint maple leaves from Canada, 99 pure, 4 rolls. Hey, stack of 4 rolls of 25 stacking up. Gary, if you can get the stuff for less than $5 an ounce premium on silver, I think you're doing fine. I can't see paying more than $5 an ounce premium for anything. Silver Eagles are like $7, $8 over spot. I don't think you'll ever get that premium back unless the market goes up, which it will. But meanwhile, I think you can stack more silver if you're buying cheaper premium products like 90% and 100-ounce bars. Eagles are too expensive in my opinion. But maples, if you get maples for less than $5 premium, you're doing good. Brian Pedersen, thanks for your show. I hope you were fishing. I was, Brian. I did some fishing yesterday. A little surf. I own a boat. I go out often offshore, but I've been doing more surf fishing because it's very relaxing. You go out there, you get your feet in the sand, that kind of thing. But again, not going to talk about surfing and fishing right now. No pressure, but make sure you're doing your show every day because it's very important to all of us, and I appreciate your time and knowledge. Well, more important than that, I appreciate you guys watching and your comments out here and taking the time to watch. And thanks, Brian. You have yourself a great day. And that's really about it. I'm going to move along and close this video out. This is Brian Kuzma with Commercial Rare Coins at 954-493-8811. We're open between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Call me anytime. And I just noticed that I forgot to plug my microphone in, so I'm dealing with this crappy-ass computer microphone. Sorry about that. That's it. Have yourself a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.